Hi all, it's Bob
And Renee.
from the School of Herbal Studies, and we wanted to talk about one of our favorites because it's such a versatile plant, Beautyberry. And you know, this is one that we've got growing all over the yard. I wish I could say I planted the first one, but it's a volunteer. There's this wonderful fruit that's going to be here soon, and you can see the flowers are just starting on here. And they have a kind of unique arrangement. They grow along the stem at the leaf, at the attachment there at the node, and it gets that kind of a light purple berry on there. It's quite distinct. And this one was a volunteer. The birds love this, a lot of the animals love it, so they donated a few of these, and now we spread them throughout the yard. Got a couple of really unique uses for it. One of my favorite, and I kind of need it right now, we just had a nice big rain here the last 36 hours. This is a great mosquito repellent. And it's been compared to DEET. That's the active ingredient in a lot of things like off. And just by mashing up the leaf, and you do have to reapply it pretty regularly, but just mashing it on there works great. If you've got something like steam distillation where you can pull the essential oils out, well, you can certainly make some great bug spray. And then Renee's got a couple of really neat uses that she's learned over the years.
So, first of all, I want you guys to all know that this very much is everywhere. In the United States, it's everywhere. It's very bioregional. You can use it without a worry for the species, so that harvesting it is something that we encourage for sure. From a classical standpoint, you could use the bark or the inner bark, because we don't really want to cut down a tree, to kind of boil with the berries when they're present and the leaves. You don't have to have all the parts. One of them would do for a slight cough medicine. It's not going to help anybody with the actual infection, but if you just had that cough and that nasal drip and that allergy problem, that it's definitely going to help in that way. With the berries present, it's just a plus because they taste good for sure. Now, I'm 5th generation Floridian here and was taught basically survival skills and wildlife skills. And one of the things that I was taught to do with it, since Bob had said it's used for a bug repellent, is to use it as redneck toilet paper. That basically a couple of those leaves about the size of your hand layered would be perfect. And if I was having to pull my pants down in the middle of the woods, I would love to be putting a bug repellent on back there. They're very, very soft, and for that reason, we would use it like that. But the other thing is it helps us to decide that we have the right plant for many reasons. Bob had pointed out that the magic happens at the nodes there, and that's where the berries would appear. And so you'd have a clump of berries right here. But the other thing is that the textural issues with it, it's so, so soft. And that helps you not confuse it with a plant that grows next to it that's called poke. So you want to make sure that you're identifying this properly when you do have it. So it's good for some light cough medicine. The berries are definitely going to make jam for you. It's great for bug repellent and rubbing on your skin if there's an abrasion or some kind of something that needs cooling down. And it is also a great toilet paper, for sure.
And there's some other uses. This is actually in the Chinese medicine. This isn't our medica, so Calcarpia, I believe, is the Latin Americana, and there's many different species that they use in Chinese medicine. So this can be used the same way. And there's one thing that I haven't used it for yet, but I understand it's quite effective. That is a fish poison. And so it doesn't mean it's poisonous, but we can take the leaves and either make a strong tea or just rough them up in a small pond or brace off a small part of the river. And we'll see that used sometimes. It doesn't kill them. It's not poison, but it actually paralyzes them so that they're no longer able to use their gills in order to breathe. And so the fish will float up, and we can gather them up. And we find this is used in a lot of different traditions as that fish poison to safely gather up a lot of small fish.
So let's talk about that for just a second before we go, that it's not in any way going to endanger you, but that same antitussive effect it would have for like a light irritating cough, where it would just stop that cilia from spasming and that rebellious chi from going the wrong way. In the fish, it's the same thing. It stops that action. It kind of slows down that gill movement and that passing of oxygen over. So it's not anything that's going to endanger you and keep you from breathing, but it would slow it just enough for the fish not to be able to swim anymore, and they would rise up because of that. And so that's why it would work. It's not poison in any way, shape, or form, but definitely the way you described it was perfectly.
And I don't even know if we said it, but those little purple berries, I won't say they're the tastiest thing in town, but super fine to eat, garnish a plate, add into your cereal. And of course, everybody always talks about making jelly or jam out of it. And certainly we can do that quite easily. But they're a nice little trailside nibble just to eat those as we go. So this is Bob and Renee from the Tradition School of Herbal Studies talking about Beautyberry. See y'all in the next video.